Good afternoon. Cancer treatment in our beloved state. What are the challenges that we face and what opportunities do we have as we go towards the future? As you'll be able to see in this Punjab cancer map, only 3 districts in our state have a cancer incidence which is less than the national average. So, greetings first of all from our head neck COE. This is the spectrum of our work, and as we move forward and take care of our cancer population, it's pertinent to note that Patel Hospital currently treats more than 3,000 patients of cancer per year. About 1,100 of them are pertinent to this, the head and neck COE, and we have thousands of patients on follow-up. We have been privileged over the last 16 years to be able to provide what we believe is standard of care cancer treatment to our patient populace, which includes Punjab and beyond, of course. Coming to the mood topic, the magnitude in our country, the percentage of cancer mortality in India is high now. We already know that it's the second commonest killer in our country. We get between 10 and 12 lakh new cancer patients every year, and this is very concerning data. This is the Globocan index, which tells us that we get 1.2 lakh cases per year just of oral cancer, with a 60% cause-specific mortality. Again, another reason to be concerned. Treating these cancers on a daily basis, it becomes important for us to realize that in our country, where resources might be short, where distance from the nearest cancer center might be considerable, it's important to make sure that we are able to innovate. When we talk about innovating, there's an innovation adoption life cycle that I want to draw your attention to. In our country, most people would be on the left side of the bell curve, the innovators or the early adopters. In a country like ours, where innovations really have to meet the ends of standard of care cancer treatment for every patient, you can't afford to be in the laggards or even in the late majority, because you don't want to be in a situation where your patients are not served to the best of your expertise or the best of your ability. Expertise and infrastructure is important, but how we apply it also to meet the challenges that we have is also equally pertinent. That being said, there are multiple challenges, of course, in treating cancer in our country. We'll talk about country first, and then we'll move to Punjab in general. There's an inadequate number of cancer centers, and there's a big geographic disparity. Tier 1 cities typically have more cancer centers, which is why anyone has to commute hundreds of kilometers to go to the nearest treating facility. There is a lack of structured training programs. Based on a recent review, the number of oncologists in India are about a third of what we actually need. In the periphery, like we talked about, there is a poor penetration. Treatments are not standardized. I give my patients an example very frequently. In the US, where I spent 4 years of my career doing my fellowships in early part of my practice, the 3 biggest cancer centers are actually in cities that are maybe of the size of all cities in Punjab. All of these cities, the largest revenue earner as well as the largest employer is that particular health system. Extrapolating that example to India is somewhat possible, and the things at the bottom, the cost of setting up a cancer center and the finance schemes which are not cancer focused also challenges us. So yes, the infrastructure is huge. The amount that you need to set up a cancer center is very high. The government facilities are overloaded because patients are not covered by insurance, but that's what we'll talk about as we move on. Talking about physician factors, there's a skewed doctor to patient ratio. In the graph at the bottom, you see India, unfortunately, at the right at the very end in terms of the population per cancer physician. The training level is non-homogeneous. Physicians are not recertified. So anyone who trained 30 years back is still considered a contemporary oncologist, and this is something that needs to change in my opinion. Number of multidisciplinary teams are less. Tumor boards are not happening to the extent that they should, and of course, in terms of physician factors, there is a high overhead cost. So hospitals which are owned by physicians, the physicians find it difficult to subsidize because of the fact that the overhead is high. How do we solve it is something we'll talk about. And probably the most important is patient and community factors. You see this graph, in which you see alternative therapies being touted. Remember that we live in an age of evidence-based medicine. Whatever evidence we have, especially in a deadly disease like cancer, is something that we have to use to give the best possible treatment to our patients. A lot of them present to us in high stage. We've done an audit in our department, over 70% are stage 4. Educational status is non-uniform. Social beliefs and prevalent socio-cultural practices is a big problem as well. They typically have some preconceived notions and anecdotal data about a particular modality, like chemotherapy, like radiation, like surgery, which makes them seek multiple alternative therapies. And the cost of treatment, of course, is the most important consideration, because in a country where insurance penetration is not very high, 70% of healthcare expenses are met from the pocket of the individual patient. population. Let's talk about Punjab in general, in which we are seeing that the number of cancer patients is roughly reflected by the population of that particular district, which is why you'll see that the cities at the top are the ones which are also the bigger cities or bigger districts. But the problem is the strong incidence data is lacking. Based on door-to-door survey, there were 24,000 confirmed cancer patients, and this was done for more than half of Punjab's population, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. And about 60,000 odd suspect patients. The prevalence is high, only 3 districts having a prevalence lesser than the national average, and we also talked about 3 districts which have a prevalence of much more than 1.5. But there is a lot of perception and there is a lot of reading between the lines. The door-to-door survey that we talked about did show that the incidence of cancer in Punjab was not really higher than the national average. So yes, it is a big problem in Punjab, but nowhere the way it is touted to be. There are certain areas, including the Malwa belt, where you have a higher incidence than the national average, but over the last 10 odd years, the cancer efforts have also been focused a little bit more in that direction. It is pertinent, of course, in terms of state-sponsored health schemes that the Punjab government spends just 728 rupees per capita on healthcare, and that's something that needs to change. Why do finances have such a big role is also something that's important. The spending in a cancer-afflicted home based on this data is 36 to 44% more than other households with similar demographics. And patients are pushed below the poverty line in a lot of these patients simply because of the cost in cancer treatment. This graphic shows the rise in cancer treatment over a couple of decades, and you'd realize how the blue circles have really magnified or blown up into the red ones, and the cost of treatment is no longer within the pocket of the common man. Some people might argue that you can use insurance coverage, and that's something which again does not really apply that much, because the insurance claims are only the amount that you see over there, are about less than £1 lakh, and a higher policy would typically mean a higher premium as well, which is unfortunately something that patients are not really spending for. So out-of-pocket expenses still remain high. Insurance coverage alone is not able to solve the problem. But critical illness cover is a good option offered by most insurance companies that people can avail. What happens when you have a disease in which critical illness cover is going to kick in and you're going to support treatment, but when there is a problem, also realize that higher stage cancers have more expensive treatment. Lower stage cancers have single modality or less expensive treatment. So there is a way to find these cancers early. That would be the best case scenario. That would be screening. And we are part of multiple screening initiatives as well. We've had multiple statewide screening initiatives which help us diagnose patients early and treat patients early as well. The cancer situation in Punjab just really depends on how you're going to evaluate them and how you're going to intervene. The door-to-door campaign we've talked about, there's the NCRP of the ICMR that we've been associated with for the last 9 or 10 years. Hospital-based cancer registries are not really as reliable. Certain institutions might be getting a different kind of cancer more because the MDT would be set up in a little better way. How do we intervene in terms of the finances? The Mukhyamantri Rahat Kosh scheme is a good option. All of you would have heard of it. Like the southern states, there's no micro health insurance scheme, but the MMCRK has been a real boon for a lot of our patients, and that's something which needs to continue. There's multiple options, philanthropic initiatives, and some screening tools. So I talked briefly about the Oncology Committee of IMA Punjab. We set it up under the chairmanship of the past 3 IMA presidents, and we hope to continue it with the subsequent leadership as well. It's a common forum. The IMA is an instantly recognizable brand which lends our activities more initiative, and over time we've conducted about 25 such initiatives over the last 6 odd years, patient focused as well as physician focused. The plan of activities is something which we conduct patient outreach, we conduct academic conferences, and we conduct community outreach endeavors on landmark cancer days. The central government also has a role. In 2015, there was a large capital infusion for fighting cancer, and the detail is here. New RCCs were set up. The existing RCCs, the regional cancer centers, were strengthened. An oncology wing was set up in medical colleges. A district cancer control program was set up, which meant that there was a big infusion into that direction. Coming back to Punjab again, the Chief Minister Relief Fund, we've talked about that, and they've been doing a good job with regard to promoting outreach. We talked about the insurance scheme for farmers, and of course the Ayushman scheme, in my opinion, does not really offer a very viable alternative because it's unrealistically low in terms of reimbursement, which is why a lot of hospitals have not been able to do that. As a hospital, we've tried to do more work in terms of affiliating with NGOs. On the right, you see older data, but over time now, Mukhyamantri Rahat Kosh has treated more than 2,500 cancer patients in our hospital. The Cancer Care Fund of the ICS has treated now more than 150, and our in-house Jeevan Daan Society, which is a registered charitable society, has now treated about 250 odd cancer patients. So there is a role for NGOs, and that's something we need to realize as well. The media, of course, as intensifying a particular situation, there has to be responsible advertising about the finance options available. There has to be sensible outreach regarding screening and early detection, and there should be no hyperbole. It's very important that only clear messages are given. And the role of the doctor, of course, in subsidizing care is to do individual initiatives as well. This was the first initiative that we conducted when we set up the IMA Oncology Committee. As you would see, all cancer hospitals in Punjab participated. We were able to screen more than 3,000 patients during that one single day initiative. And I think initiatives like this, focused efforts by individuals, are important in making sure that we do that. We've talked about challenges, we've talked about opportunities, and we talked about briefly how to solve them. Not just the financial standpoint, but also the fact that we need to bring standard of care to every doorstep of every cancer patient, regardless of geographic disparity, regardless of economic disparity. So a cancer diagnosis comes with serious financial implications. We understand that, whether or not a patient is covered by insurance. The most effective way, in my opinion, to decrease cost is to screen effectively so that we can pick it up in an early stage. A health insurance is important, however basic it might be, and every individual should try to get a critical illness cover. The central and state governments have great efforts, but implementation has to be better, in our opinion. We talked about the media, of course, and the individual doctor. There has to be a significant role of everyone, the NGOs, the doctors, individual initiatives, to make sure that all our patients in our beloved state are able to get the financial help they need, the social help they need, the counseling, and of course, seek treatment in a multidisciplinary setting. And the most important thing is evidence-based care. Thank you so much.